us. Where are you all from? Where are you representing? Kara, I know that there's at least one person from dirty Jersey in the house. So both you and I used to live in the dirty. Where in Jersey did you live?
I lived technically in Shannock Station, but I tell everyone Somerville, that's where I went to high school, right in the middle of New Jersey. An hour and 15 from New York City, an hour and 15 from Philadelphia.
Got it. Cool. Okay, where they represent? Let's see. We got some people from Texas, St. Louis, Texas, Iowa, Ohio, Maryland.
Shannon Lee, I know you're from Wisconsin.
Is Shannon your friend? Who is
sisters?
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And Shannon.
I love it. What a small world, you guys. Oh. I love this.
So weird to me.
Okay, Kara, so quick question, because this is an espresso show where we just talk about powerful things with powerful people, and obviously you're one of them. You guys, like, the first thing when you see Kara, like, aren't you like, oh my gosh, dude, she's so fucking jacked, I want to be like that? Drop a hell yeah if you agree, because I know that, man, I feel so little, like, right next to you. It's crazy. Hell yeah. Everybody wants to be jacked.
Like yeah.
I love it. Kara, do you drink coffee?
I do. I actually have a French press running at the moment. I had a 4:30 a.m. Call as well. I was training a doctor, so
I love it.
Got up and started rolling, and my coffee's still kind of sitting over there. But I have a great.
Okay, so what you gotta do is you gotta go get yourself your coffee, and like I'll entertain.
Oh, I know which one I'm gonna choose. All right, let's see. 10, go.
Yeah, do your thing.
She's like, find me.
So who's drinking coffee this morning, or what are you drinking? I just took my very first sip. What is that, Diane? Is that a club soda?
No, it's a Clarbrum lime water, just carbonated water, nothing in it except some lime flavoring. So
cool.
I don't drink too much coffee. A little bit of a coffee sometimes, but not too much.
You know what? It's interesting. I feel like, Erin, like half of our community drinks coffee and half of them doesn't.
Half of them doesn't know. They don't know.
I'm a coffee whore, so.
Yeah, me too, girl. Like this is espresso mixed with French press.
I got to get you on the Bubs Natural train and have you guys, well, maybe I can get you guys a community discount with Bubs Naturals, the collagen company, Sean. They're awesome people. They donate way more to the charity than they actually make as an organization for the Navy SEALs and veterans. And
is that a coffee brand?
MCT oil, coconut powder, and collagen.
Cool.
Coffee. I typically put it in my coffee because it makes it taste coconutty. That little like Dunkin' Donuts without going to Dunkin' Donuts flavor.
Without all the trash that comes with Dunkin' Donuts?
Correct.
Well, Kara, just based off of the way you look, I can only assume that you're born ready to get this party started.
Yeah. No.
Are you guys ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Now, here's the thing. You need to give me a couple seconds because I'm gonna get myself ready, and then we're gonna get started.
Whoop, whoop.
I love your energy, dude.
Hey, I'm used to 18-hour days now, so.
Hustler. I love it.
You have to in Hollywood.
That's right. Is that where you live right now?
Yeah. I laugh for lots of specific reasons, but yes. Right in the heart of, I live right on Melrose Avenue. So the pink wall, which sadly enough is the second most photographed wall.
Oh, really?
Media, right behind the Berlin Wall, which is very sad for us. I live right next to the pink wall.
Pink wall.
Yeah, the Paul Smith pink wall.
I
found out second most photographed wall or selfied wall next to the Berlin Wall.
So let me guess, there's a bunch of tourists like right in your backyard.
Diagonally across the street. More, yeah. I would say more models than I would say tourists.
Hey.
They love their pink wall.
Hey, pink. I mean,
Yeah.
associated with a lot of things. Okay, cool. Thumbs up, everybody, for if we're ready to get this party started. Cool. Well, as if she hasn't already made an incredible impression, today I have with me the athlete and researcher, Kara Lazauskas. Kara is a former NCAA athlete, speed and explosion director for Point Guard College, and former muscle research coordinator in Cal State University, molecular muscle exercise physiology lab. Man, so many big words. It's like I can't even keep up with the jargon. She's coached athletes and clients from all walks of life. As you guys can see, she made for us time in between two clients. This is incredible. We're so grateful. Her current research involves muscle fiber type specific protein signaling in athletes during high intensity interval exercises. And though we're gonna geek out today, we're also gonna get down and dirty because, dude, you've got an incredible story. So for one, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. And I always want to serve individuals at any capacity I can. So thank you.
Oh man, your attitude is fire. So, I mean, you know, just from your intro, for anybody listening, it's really obvious that you're passionate about muscle, like by looking at you and by, you know, hearing your intro. Now, I'm sure that passion for fitness and muscles had to evolve somehow. So how did that come about?
I really believe that came about subconsciously at a very early age.
Okay.
So I don't say anyone's really born ready, but your environment allows you and prepares you for moments, the experiences, events to get you to the level where you are ready and you have the ability to now and the capacity to stay ready. So for me, it started at an early age at 3.5, losing my left lung to a post-inflammatory pseudotumor that covered 75% of my left lung. I've spoken about it prior, but essentially what happened is they thought I had cancer. They put me in emergency surgery, took my entire left lung out, and like, oh my God, it's not cancer. She's gonna live. So that happened at 3.5. So I think subconsciously, even though I didn't think about it for years afterwards, I was primed, I think, in that moment to start to develop a sense of why me and why was this happening to me and how can I be better then and how can I show doctors and show others that it doesn't matter what you say to me, it doesn't matter what you do, I have the ability to continue to improve.
Dude.
That's where my obsession, first obsession in a bad way, then obsession in a great way began.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you just said something pretty cool. So you said first obsession in a bad way and then obsession in a good way. So what was your bad obsession?
So at first, one quote that I've remind myself of often is that having ambition is wonderful, but being obsessed with ambition is self-sabotage. So I had so much ambition and so much of a chip on my shoulder to prove doctors wrong. And this also translated into years later after my third ACL surgery and then a fourth ACL tear, partial tear, going absolutely batshit crazy, developing, handling, and now recovered with eating disorder and losing my basketball career and not knowing who I was, who's Kara without sports, who's Kara without this dream. And for me, how all those things transitioned and developed was all through this obsession of ambition of trying to prove everyone wrong, trying to prove orthopedics wrong, trying to prove doctors wrong, trying to prove my family wrong, everyone around me, almost having too much of a chip on my shoulder, too much ambition to the point where I was just self-sabotaging myself and didn't have a good grip or a grip on reality and what was actually transpiring and what I was actually doing to myself, which was not healthy.
Sure. And how did that, okay, what was the come to Jesus moment that you had? Like, look, you know, like when you had a talk with yourself and you're like, this is obviously sabotaging you and you need to turn that into something positive. I
think it was never one come to Jesus moment. I think it was several throughout the 2-3 year span between 2010 and 2013, where a lot of circumstances occurs where I had a lot of come to Jesus moments. And I think those accumulated into a response of understanding and figuring out and separating the thoughts of what thoughts are actually cowards, what thoughts are thoughts that are self-sabotaging thoughts, pigeon thoughts, I call them, just like in London when you feed the pigeons. You feed one, or any pigeons really, because they're all pigeons are pretty similar. You feed one, well, what happens? More and more pigeons come, just like negative thoughts, just like self-sabotaging thoughts. You feed one, now more and more are going to start building up and coming until you can't, or you're no longer able to understand which thoughts are which, and you're fully submerged. So for me, it was a bunch of come to Jesus moments. One in particular, which makes me very, very almost like I started sweating, was with Shannon Lee, who's on the call now, and her sister, who has been part of the community. So Shannon Lee, who's on right now, actually is the first come to Jesus moment. She was just making me sweat because it's really weird. I've never been on a call like this, and like the person who was one of my come to Jesus moments on the call. But
I love you, Kara.
I love you, Shannon. You always gonna make me cry because it's crazy. Very small world. I've done a lot of talks, and so when people ask, I normally just say her name and don't really go any further. But my mom calls my guardian angel for a reason. So one of my come to Jesus moments is when I was at my worst, absolute worst moment. And I tell people a lot, if you could talk about the story and not have a physiological or a psychological or a triggering reaction, then it feels like you're talking about someone else's story. You're in recovery. And that's how it always feels like for me. That's how I know I've been in recovery. But I was in a very, very dark place. And as my teammate at the time in college basketball, she went the extra step to not only drag me out of my apartment at the time, but to put me in a safe place, to get me to a mental health area, to get me to on campus. It was the health center, I believe. Called my mom, forced my mom to drive across the state of Pennsylvania at the time we were at, which was Slippery Rock University. Because I'd been lying to my mom the whole time that I was fine, and she knew I wasn't. This is when I was deep into bulimia and was not healthy. It was about 95 pounds by the time I actually went into rehab. But she was the first come to Jesus moment where it's like, no, you're not okay. You need help. You need to stop what you're doing to yourself. This is not positive behavior, and I need to get you into a safe area. And I've been lying to my mom, so she was one of the first. After that, there's a lot of other come to Jesus moments. Another one was definitely while I was in rehab after years and years of trying to figure out what the hell was going on with me. Why wasn't I getting better? Still trying to figure out who was Kara type of situation. One was in rehab when one of my roommates, Tracy, never forget her, 50 years old, she had a bag as a stomach. And she had been to rehab 13 times, had a bag as a stomach, and she was still asking me to see if I could find any way to get like clippings of food and exercise, and basically steal them in. And it was what she was saying and how she was reacting almost had a weird come to Jesus, like, is this my future? Like, if I continue letting this happen, is this me? And at the time I was 22, and this is gonna be me in 25 plus years. That scared the shit out of me. So that was another one. And then small moments like that at varying degrees occurred for every couple months, every couple years, and you just start learning and understanding what the universe is trying to tell you, and you just build upon that.
Dude, I love this. Is so powerful.
That's so short.
This is so powerful. Something that we always say is that people in your life come for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Nothing in life happens by accident, right? Like everything is like a divine moment. And, a huge inspiration of mine is Oprah Winfrey. And you guys know that. But Oprah Winfrey says that the most incredible gift that you can give yourself is time. So something that was super powerful that I think you intuitively just picked up on yourself, and probably that's what allowed you to heal yourself, right? And use that chip on your shoulder as an asset rather than to bring you down, was to ask yourself, why me? And why is this happening to me? Like literally with every single adversity that you've faced. And, I love that you're just so raw, real, and authentic about your story, because, when people see somebody successful or a byproduct of success, right? Like by looking at you, people will say, oh my gosh, she looks like she's got her shit together. Like, it looks like she surfs all day and like she's really happy. Like, life is good. She's totally jacked. Like, she, you know, like she just received it, right? It's like she eats like a sirloin for breakfast and it goes to her muscles. Like, why does it go to my gut instead? Blah, blah, blah. But, you know, like, the reality is that success, it requires you to take the time to, for one, be in tune with all these adversities that you're facing so that you can rise above it. And again, thank you so much for sharing this, because now you guys are able to see, like, wow, like, I mean, look at what this girl has been through, right? In regards to so many things, right? Like, be it your lung, be it your disordered eating patterns, be it your obsessive behavior, which obviously took a toll on you, be it your toxic environment at one point, which you literally, like, it's like you took all this like negativity and you turned it into like rocket fuel, and it's like, you're like, bring it on, I'm going up, I'm going up, I'm going up. So this is amazing. And by the way, you guys, a fun fact about Kara is that she was on Dwayne Johnson's The Rock, right, show called The Tie-In Games, right? And you've done incredible on that show. But, you know, in the show, you said a couple of really beautiful things. And, you know, obviously I did a little bit of research about you. And I want to just bring across some of what you said, because I have questions with regards to that. So you guys, this is what Kara said. She said, it's okay to be beautifully different. It's okay to be criticized. As long as you know your purpose, as long as you know what's your true self, that's your true self, you're going to be successful. When it comes to fitness, anything is freaking possible. Okay, so I have a couple of questions with regards to that. Obviously, you have a very unique look, right? Right now, how did this look benefit you right now in your life?
I wouldn't necessarily say it benefits. I would say in more of a capacity, it helps to better serve, because it takes away the emotional bias that most of the fitness industry has on females. Because especially now where I'm living in Hollywood and the celebrity types, and I mean, Justin Bieber is, oh God, anywho. So it takes away the emotional bias of them seeing the stereotypical female, not that there's anything wrong with that, everyone has their own individuality, and seeing me and saying, oh, shit, she doesn't, I thought I was getting X, Y, and Z, and I'm getting this. This is different. And I think it benefits in the sense of allowing them to take away all their box type ideas or their narrow-minded focus on this is what a trainer, or this is what a researcher, or this is what a female should look like. And instead throwing out the window and saying, no, this is what a human being does. This is how a human being sheds light for others in whatever their capacity or profession is. And I think that's the most beautiful thing you can get from being your authentic and your true self, is getting to the point where you just don't give a damn, and you know what you're doing, what you're wearing, how you're responding to conversations, how you're transitioning from one client to next or one opportunity to the next develops, because you're being your actual self.
Man, this is so powerful. And I agree with you 100%, because we live in a society where people are doing everything that they can to fit in. And what happens when you try to fit in is that you end up never being satisfied with who you are, because what you're seeking is what everybody else is seeking, right? And if you pour on to others, right, and you think what others are thinking, who gets left behind? Your soul, right? So I love that. And you know what? You're 100% right. Like, any role that you play in life, it's like you don't fit in. And that's what makes you beautiful, right? Like as a researcher, you're super jacked. Everybody who sees you for the first time, I can only imagine, because I was a bio major and I know what, what the department looks like. It's like, everybody looks like a nerd and like they don't take care of themselves, right? And like, you just have so much to offer. It's beautiful. Now, let me ask you this, because I can only help but to assume that obviously not fitting in the box means also that, until you are just really okay with it, and maybe now this still happens to you, you probably receive a lot of criticism. I can especially assume on social media.
Oh yeah, I love it. Now I actually got a direct message. I woke up to it this morning from some fat white man, because it always is, isn't it? That's just real, because it always ends up being that guy. Somewhere in Wisconsin. Just joking. He wasn't in Wisconsin. He was in Idaho or something. I don't know. Just bored. He said something along the lines of, you need to be honest with everyone that you are a male. You're definitely, the sentence didn't even make sense. You're taking something, be real. Come on now. And I normally just delete them now. Like, that's where I saw them. Like, you just got to laugh at it now, because these are people that are just bored. Like, they're just flat out bored with their life, and they want to stir up something or some type of emotional reaction. And I couldn't stand for years, or for most of my life, when people would say, well, just ignore it. Just ignore it, let it go. Like, they're lazy. They're just doing it because they're jealous, or they're insecure about themselves, or projecting on yourself. Because I don't think all of that is true. I think no matter how much you're developed, I think no matter how much life you've gone through, everyone's a human being with thoughts, feelings, and emotions. It's not that you're not going to feel something, it's just the dial needs to be all the way down. That's when you're in an authentic place. You can still have a little bit of a spike of well, that sucks, he said that. But as long as it doesn't last for minutes, hours, or days, you won. It's okay, you're a human. It's okay if you have a little bit of all right, as long as it's for a couple of seconds, a second, where you have that little like, well, that sucks, he said that, and then you can move on. But to think to not have any response to when a human is evil, or however you want to spin it, or bad, or saying negative things to another human, or criticizing in a downward or a decreasing spiral, that's, I don't think, causes other type of self-sabotage behaviors as well.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
Hollywood.
I find it comical, and one of our community members has mentioned to us yesterday that somebody who has been in her life for quite some time is now concerned about her behavior, because she's on a quest for success. And the truth is, like, when it comes to like criticizers, naysayers, is that truthfully, it has nothing to do with you, and it has everything to do with them, right? And normally, and I would consider you a super freak, and please take it with love, because you are. And I think that super freaks are the ones who are going to change the world.
Oh, I take the word freak, misfit, or otherwise as a compliment, especially when
yes.
You're right.
Please, it's a huge compliment, because if you're not a super freak, you're just trying to fit into a box. But like, if you're a super freak, like, criticisms are just a part of the process. It's gonna happen to you every single day. Cool. Okay, so you've received criticisms. I thought so. Just wanted to make sure. What is your purpose?
So my purpose is to continually to enhance my physical, emotional, and spiritual capacity to heal myself and to serve myself, so that I can continue to progress and learn from others and serve others. Through my story, a lot of my purpose is driven in regards to the physical therapy, into the physical nature in terms of training, but a lot of that's incorporated into the mental as well. So what I always love to say to people is that it's not where you've been. I don't care what you've done. What I care about is, what do you want to do now to change that? How can I best serve you? How can we start becoming what we've wanted but we've held back? And how can I best serve you in that course of action?
Man, I love it. So I can only help but to assume that for you training, for you fitness, for you muscles, it's an art. It's healing. It's your love language. It's not even like I do like the reason why I want to bring this up is because a lot of people do fitness for weight loss, they do it for vanity reasons, but for you, it's very clear and obvious that it's for something so much deeper. And I would even go to the extent that it's bigger, like with the research that you're doing, for you, it's something that's bigger than who you are, right?
Right.
And for you, it's your love language. And, you know, it's so profound. And I love that because that's what allows you to hone in on that, you know, obsessive personality and turn it into a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Years thought there's something wrong with me for being obsessed, but it later come to find out it's in a bad way. But when you find out how to keep that, I don't believe likes and balance, there's no such thing as balance, but if you could find the healing in it and understand how to transition some of those negatives into positives, don't worry about the balance part, you're going to be just okay. But for me, it's always been therapy. Once I understood the difference between it being therapeutic and my biggest passion and purpose versus it being something I utilize for self-sabotage, that's when everything changed and it became healing.
I love it. And I also love the fact that you said that you don't believe in balance, because neither do we. I believe that balance was a word created by the average for the average. And when you're on your way to the top and you are, you know, on your quest for greatness, it's about harmonizing everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like you lead and live your life in a harmonized way. Is there balance? Fuck no. Like you had a client at 4:30 in the morning, right? The average will tell you, where's your balance? You're like, dude, like that's so last year.
I got shit to do.
Yeah.
So last year. Well, I mean, and my mother is I call her the queen of everything in moderation. And I think she'll still, you know, that quote does not help me at all because I'm very much a Leo in terms of all or nothing. I'm either doing it or I'm not doing it. But understanding how to make that healthy and how to approach that for my lifestyle in a healthy manner versus the other side of the coin, that's the difference.
Sure. In a way where it doesn't, you know, take away from your daily functioning.
Correct.
Exhibit why, you know, like I would say phase one, Kara, right? Like you used your obsession in a negative way and it brought you down. And now you're letting it fuel your fire, which is incredible.
Correct.
So, you know, you use the term anything is possible, which I love for one. And for two, it's something that's so simple yet so profound. Mm-hmm. Because it could literally be applied for any aspect in life, be it fitness, be it physique, be it success in life, be it, you know, relationship, be it motherhood, be it whatever. But yet only a few people choose to make it happen. So now we just learn about the fact that you don't believe in balance and that it's all about going all in. And, you know, harmonizing it. But, you know, can you share with us your personal experience that led you to believe, like specifically with fitness, why you said that when it comes to fitness, anything is freaking possible?
Because I've seen it. Because I've seen it in others. I've seen clients and athletes that I've trained, what points they've gone to their A and how they've slowly and surely one step at a time, whether it's a turtle step or a rabbit step, gotten to point B. And all it took was having a tight knit inner circle and getting rid of that part of the inner circle and maybe the social aspects of their life that needed to change. And then they were able to see clear again, get rid of what I call that brain fog or that emotional bias we have towards what we want versus, or what we need versus what we want. And I mean, in the word, it sounds corny as all hell, but in the word, anything is possible, and impossible says I'm possible. You know, we've all seen that on a Hallmark card. And I do believe that if you're able to take away the word impossible and just continue to have mantras for yourself, which I have several throughout the day. Today, I'm probably gonna have to use them more than some other days because I'm working longer hours, some other days than others. I think finding also mantras of other than anything is possible helps you get through those moments when you're in that kind of suck. For me right now, one of my favorite ones to say is looking good, feeling good, already in Hollywood.
Oh shit.
I'm already out here. Another one is I love and respect myself unconditionally. My quick hitter that I use a lot is Carrie, you're a savage. You're not nicknamed killer for no reason. You don't have to say it out loud to yourself, but it definitely does. There's a difference between a weird energetic shift that happens when you say it out loud versus saying it internally. Yes, you might look weird if you're doing it at a Starbucks or a Walmart, but I have done it before in line and people don't really look too much.
And besides, you're being criticized already, so give them something to criticize you about. Like, you're a crazy bitch. Yeah, I know. Thank you. So just to validate what you're saying, do you truly believe that, let's say, if somebody is currently in a position where they have 100 pounds to lose, like, do you truly believe that they can get themselves to a point where they can get jacked?
Yes, 100%. I have a client right now who's lost 250 pounds. Every single doctor told him, because there's a UCLA study that went out that 1 out of 1,780 obese patients can't lose it naturally and have to get surgery. And he wanted to be one of the 1,780 to prove him wrong. And so far he is. And he started at 480 pounds. And he's close to being under 200 at this point and right around his, what would be perceived as normal weight in society. So I've seen it. I do believe it's very possible. I think the biggest first step you need to take is find the right social support and find the right system to get you started, to get you motivated and transitioning in the right and the healthy professional capacity through the first steps so that you can continue to improve. And
then I'm gonna just ask you a couple of questions because this is for some people who really need to hear that. So do you also want to tell me that if I'm in a position where I just feel stuck in my life and food owns me, that I can actually get myself to a point where I can free myself and actually gain confidence and peace from within?
Yes.
Like you believe that there's a way out?
Oh yeah, there's a way out. I've seen it way too many times. I saw it within myself. I really didn't think I was going to live past 21 at a certain point. I honestly didn't want to live at all. And I'm here at 29, and sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, I was training. If anyone's ever seen the show 13 Reasons Why, yesterday I trained him 3 times. I'm training Ross Butler, who was one of the main characters on the show. And I have still pockets of moments where I'm like, I almost killed myself, and now look what I'm doing. And I laugh, and and I joke about it now, but it's crazy how you can get yourself out of the hole and then realize what the universe actually had in store for you. Sure. And it just trains those type of people and do what I've done in the research scene and continue to progress in blows my mind. And I've seen so many people get to that point and have those stories, and you would never know when you see them in person until you have that conversation. And then when you realize what they've been through, you're like, holy shit, you went through this like X, Y, and Z, and you're here right now. You're just, especially out here, you're in this movie role. And I thought you were this like perfect specimen, but you've been through hell and back, and now look at you. So it's very much possible.
And then just to ask you another question, from your own personal experience as well, in your becoming process, right? Basically when you turned like all the negative to the positive, was every day rainbows and butterflies?
No, I don't really poop out rainbows and butterflies too often, but
no, I thought
no. One day that'd be awesome. I'll go on a research study for that if that ever happens. I call my doctor friends up, like, look what just happened to me. This is amazing. No, I think nothing makes me, I wouldn't say pissed off, but frustrated more than when psychologists or physicians or this, or even your friends or family say, you know, every day's a good day. Every day is just butterflies and it's a great day to have a great day. That's horse shit, literally. Because if you wake up and you're not having a good day, that is life. Not every day you're gonna have to wake up and be like, oh God, I feel like crap. But you know what? Someone told me every day is an amazing day. You're gonna have a great morning. Sometimes you have a really crappy morning, but you still gotta be able to attack the rest of your day. You still have life things you need to do. And that's where I think the mantras come in. I think it comes back to having those mantras, remind yourself that, okay, cool. Another thing I remind myself is, okay, well, if this day's really crappy, cool. That's 1 of 7. Proportionally speaking, that means the next day should be a little bit better. And if it's not, well, that means the next 2 days, that means my chances are even higher. The next 2 days are gonna be great. So my chances just growing higher. The more shitty days you have in a row, that means the more better days are ahead.
Yes. Yes.
The percentages. So I've had my week was really crappy. Well, my percentage is really high that my next week's gonna be pretty damn good. So I'm getting excited for that now. I got out of the hole.
Dude, I think I want to call you Dr. Rainbow because rainbows just dropped. Did you see them?
No.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get light in here. So as you can see my selfie light?
Yeah. So this is so powerful because, dude, it doesn't matter where the fuck you came from. Like, get the fuck over it and know that better days are coming. And this is so powerful because so many people like just dwell in it rather than accepting that, okay, today fucking sucked, get over it, tomorrow is a better day. And then, you know, this is why having a support system is so important, because if you are surrounding yourself by average people who are negative thinkers, right, they're going to tell you, oh, honey, this is just how it's meant to be. Or how people, you know, keep on saying 2020 is the worst year ever. Yeah, if you believe it, it will be, of course.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the world needs LASIK surgery right now because nobody's seeing 2020 vision.
Right? Shit.
Nobody. I mean, if there's one more riot out here, I'm moving to Wisconsin.
Are there riots by you?
Oh, there might be another one. Who knows? There was talk of it yesterday. Luckily, one of my very good friends is in the LAPD as well, who also met at Slippery Rock University, and is now LAPD. So I always get the 411 before things actually go down, just in case. It's been nuts out here, to the point where everyone's afraid to say certain aspects. Like, we've had a lot of smoke with the fires lately, and you know, with one lung, I didn't really notice it until Friday. It was really bad last Friday, and I almost felt like there was soot in my throat. So I had to wear a nasal strip while I was working. And I said to one of my clients, I can't breathe. And I had to stop right away. I was like, I can't even say that anymore. He just starts laughing. He goes, can you imagine that? You're legit just talking about the fact that there's smoke and you can't breathe. And we're even afraid to say, I can't breathe. Like, it's gotten that bad where we're not talking about anything other than the smoke. So a lot of people are just afraid to speak out when really we just need to have honest conversation. Yeah. You know, so what I said that, like, I was talking about the smoke. You know, I was talking about the fact that the fires were really bad here and they're continuing to kind of pile on. Thank God I'm blocked by a highway. I don't think fires can jump highways, but it's nuts. The amount of, I mean, if I had $1 for every supermodel I've met out here that has an eating disorder and has done nothing about it and is celebrated for it, I'd be a millionaire.
Yep.
And every time I tell my story, they all say the same thing. Oh man, I wish I was as strong as you. I'm like, well, first, number one, you gotta get out of your career because your career applauds you for being.
Your environment shapes you.
Environment applauds it. I see it all the time. You know, I mean, I had the pleasure of training Demi Lovato a few times last year, and she was almost sickly And it took the second or third, it took till the second time I trained her, and she said a couple of things that really spoke to me because I knew I used to say them. And we sat down and had a whole talk and, kind of created that trust and bond with her. And then we started having that conversation. And she just started bawling, and she's like, it's so hard to be at my level of fame in Hollywood. And she has a driver, like she's basically handcuffed in her life.
Yeah.
So people see this woman that is so rich and famous, but really at the end of the day, she's very sad. She's very alone. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio lives 10 minutes away from here up the hill. He walks around till like 2 a.m. He looks like a homeless man. He is miserable. Like, a lot of this life that people portray is not true of what they're really living in real life, because they're very mentally unstable and they haven't really transitioned in their life. So that's kind of a caveat for myself.
I believe that life is not about what you have. It's about who you have around you.
It's very true. It's very true. I mean, especially since moving up here, there's the things I see with these people that you see on social media have millions and millions of followers. Like today, I have to train some 19-year-old who has 40 million TikTok followers or something. She's 19. She has no perception of reality.
Or life.
Or life. But I know when I see her, she's going to act as if she's 40 years old and she's 19, 40 years old, and that like I should walk on water for her.
Yeah.
Which I won't do. But and that's why I think they but ask me to train these. And I choose to say yes, because it's always, life is always has your choices. And I make those choices because I want to be able to impact them in a different light other than be what they're expecting, which is, oh, you're so famous, which I don't care. Like, humans are humans to me. I don't care if you have $1 million or you have 1 million followers, you have one follower, $1 million, you have $1. We're all the same person. We're all humans.
Which I know you have to run, so I want to ask you one question and one more question, and this is a beautiful transition. So because we started to talk about, character traits, right? And it's very obvious that, with your love language of fitness, right, you help people to develop a certain character, right? So now, what character traits do you believe a person should have in order to make the impossible possible?
Number one is integrity. It's a very rare thing. And it never ceases to amaze me how many people do not have integrity. And the ones who finally understand and evolve through integrity are the ones that improve and succeed and actually impact themselves and others versus not having integrity. So integrity is by far my first one of a character trait everyone needs to continue to develop, or if they don't have it, develop it. The second one is authenticity. Always will be, always is. Because if you're not truly yourself, again, Hallmark saying, Hallmark quote, are you truly helping others? Because you're living your life a lie. And again, something I see all the time out here is just, I shake my head. It's disgusting to me. Like, you might be this fame driving this hot pink SUV Lamborghini, but like hashtag Hailey Bieber, but she's disgusting human. And I'll say that, I'll say it to her face. Actually, I have said it to her face, but anywho, this why she doesn't train with me anymore. Because I did actually say that. But that's because she made fun of my muscles, so I made fun of her. And and so that's number two, is authenticity. It's just literally not being yourself and not caring what anyone else has to say, which is why I gave that former example. Number three is having the humility to admit when you're wrong. So humility is a big one for me, because especially regardless of what field or career path you're on, if you don't have the humility to say, you know what, I thought I was right about X, Y, and Z, but I'm actually wrong. Or I said this the other day and I'm sorry, that is not what I was trying to translate to you. And having the humility and being humble enough to have those conversations with people and being okay with being wrong sometimes and being able to revert and change, whether it's a philosophy or maybe something you thought was right in your industry and now you found something else that shows otherwise. That's okay. A lot of people, I think, sink in this need that they have to be right all the time. And that's one of the worst habits to get into. So showing humility is my biggest of three. Those are my three big ones.
I love it. So I'm just going to repeat those real quick. And then I'm going to say one more thing and I'm going to let you go. Integrity is one, you guys, right? Do what you mean and mean what you say. I hope I said it right, but if not, you get what I'm saying. Authenticity, be you. Shine bright, be a fucking super freak. Don't try to fit in a box. Be way outside the box, right? Whatever is in the box is just trying to fit in. It's miserable, it's sad. Look at all these examples that Kara gave you, right? And then humility. Be all right to admit that you're wrong. By the end of the day, we're all humans. And, you know, I think that's what makes this show different. And this is not to toot my horn, but like, man, like, you know, we talk with you guys, there's nothing perfect about it, right? Like, we're just humble, right? Yeah, I'm not trying to look good. Like, I don't have all these fancy lights, and neither do you. You're like, see this thing flashing in my face? And I'm like, see how dark it is still, right? But that's what makes it beautiful, because people are able to feel you as a human being, not as this piece of plastic. So that being said, Kara, I mean, man, you're awesome. And something that we always say is, you know, it's not about the weight that you lose or the muscle that you gain, but it's rather who you become in the process. And I think this conversation was definitely like able to, you know, remind that, you know, it's not about the scale. It's not about the inches. It's not about whatever. It's about what you need to do in order to become that person. Mm. And once you start thinking that way, then anything will be possible. Do you have anything else to add?
No, if anyone ever wants to reach out or has questions, comments, concerns, I know we didn't have a lot of time today, but even when it comes to just how I could better serve you guys, you can always reach out to me at info@Kara Kilian. That's Kara, KaraKilian.com. Just shoot me an email from there. I would love to serve you. I'd love to help you on your journey. And that's how you do everything, is how you do anything.
There you go, baby. You rock. You rock. Thank you so much for your time this morning. It's been an absolute pleasure. Have a great day.
Oh, I will. You guys too. I'm off the train. Oh, a group of ladies that love Beyonce. Here we go. Dancing shoes on.
This is epic. I love it. And for you guys listening and watching, thank you guys so much for showing up this morning. I know that this added a lot of value. Hey, let's all unmute yourself and let's give Kara a big how do you call it? Round of applause. Yes.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys.
Everybody. Much love.
Peace.
Take care.
Take care, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Love you.